I was married for 20 years. My husband and I had 6 children. 6. I met him when I was 18. I'm 43 right now. My youngest child is about to be 16. No, just turned 16. Now, if you've ever raised teenagers, you know that age 16 is the hell year. That's the year they really start smelling themselves and like gaining their own sense of independence and back talk. A lot of back talk, a lot of challenging. Their hormones are going crazy. They don't want to comply. I feel like I made all of my greatest mistakes with my oldest children. And so when you get down to your last child, you've been a parent long enough that you can start to identify certain patterns. Patterns about when they don't want to admit when they're wrong. Patterns about being defensive when you have to check them on their behavior. Patterns on trying to switch everything around and blame mom or blame dad for the decisions that they're making. I've seen it before. The gaslighting, because nobody can gaslight you better than your own child. Okay. And when all else has failed, they'll say, well, you're the mom, you just have to deal with it, which no, absolutely not. I don't have to deal with any type of toxic environment, behavior, or relationship. I don't have to do that. I told my child that the other day. I said, don't get it twisted. No one else on this planet is going to put up with what I put up with from you. The world doesn't owe you anything, and it's a lot colder out there than it is in here. My child trying to be a nightmare. Every time I have to course correct them, they take it personally. So I have had to become a master of communication and a master of my own emotions. Now, I'm still working on it. You know, there's more of them than there is of me. Right now, there's only 3 in the house. I've got a soon-to-be 20-year-old, a soon-to-be 21-year-old, and a 16-year-old. Is he 20? No, he's 19. So, 19, soon-to-be 21, and 16. So, no one's brain is fully formed right now. Only mine. I've caused my kids a lot of damage in the past by not knowing how to regulate my own emotions. So I've had to take a lot of time, a lot of therapy, and a lot of educating myself on how to communicate better, how to listen better, and how to be an all-around general better parent. It's taken a long time to get where we're at. And so I just wanted to share with you a few things. I think it's 3 things. I don't like setting a number on these videos because then I'll forget where I'm at. Lord, it's hard enough to remember what day it is. I don't need to be remembering, oh, number 3, who knows, child. One thing I have to say, because I just did, so I'll use that as an example. One of the issues with my kids is me trying to explain something to them and them assuming, since this is an issue we've had before, that they know what I'm going to say, so it's okay for them to cut me off. No, you're not going to cut me off. If you're going to do something that I need to then have a response to, just because you feel like you know what I'm going to say doesn't mean that I'm not allowed the space to say that. Because no, you don't know what I'm going to say. You need to allow people the space to communicate with you. You don't get to just drop off how you feel and walk away. You may not want to hear what I'm saying, but you're going to hear what I'm saying. And see, I don't want to get that. You see how I say you're going to hear what I'm saying? See, that's the wrong energy. But that's the right energy for how they're disrespecting you. But it's the wrong energy if you actually want to come to a positive conclusion with that conversation. So I've learned how to check my kids without causing a problem. So what I did was I said, first of all, and that's what I do. I physically grab my energy out the air and shut it down because I know I'm about to act a fool out the mouth. So let me calm myself down and let me grab her. It's a calming myself down, and also I'm grabbing what just came out of her mouth and arresting it because no ma'am, no ma'am. I was speaking. When I'm done speaking, you can speak, but I need to get through these next 2-3 sentences, and I make sure to say that because, see, ADHD, my kids got a short attention span. If they think they're going to have to sit there through something they already don't want to listen to, they're going to tap out. So I let them know ahead of time, you only have maybe 30 seconds that I need you to shut your mouth and listen to what I have to say. So that sets up in their mind, all right, I'm not going to be here for long. Let me just go ahead and listen to her. Then we get to this. I said, okay. This is I know that this is nonverbal communication, that she don't want to listen to what I have to say. Listen, could you please, and I did that. I humbled myself because I really want her to hear what I have to say. And the fact that I'm being so calm when she knows that everything she's doing is triggering me, is showing to her, yo, I love you. I'm trying to change. I just want you to hear what I have to say so I can go on with my day. Where if I would have met her at her level with an attitude, see, now that gives her the space to be disrespectful because it's, oh, now we're on the same level. I got smart. You got smart. We going to get smart with each other. No, ma'am. You got smart. No. Sat that down. Calmed myself. Now we're going to have a different conversation. That's how I had to handle it. Because it was about to get way out of hand had I met her with the same energy. So that's the first thing. I have to really pause. And that pause speaks volumes. Because, all right, so, kid gets smart. Before you say anything, let it hang in the air so they can hear how dumb what they said was and understand that their life is in danger. You don't have to say, let it hang. And while it's hanging, do one of these. Freeze your face. Don't get mad. Don't even respond. Let what they said hang in the air. Then comes the threat of their life being ended. Because they used to you responding with the same thing that they responded with. So that pause is going to terrify them. So now the ball is in your court. Because see, if you get smart, if you get an attitude, if you do anything emotional, you've already lost the war. That's going to be all anybody thinks about, talks about, no matter how wrong they were. Well, you don't know how to talk to anybody. You yelled at me. You were being mean. Okay. So now we're at the point where you said something smart. I've grabbed it. Okay. I've let you, what you said, echo in your head. So now you are still in the wrong. I'm still in the right. I haven't gotten smart. I haven't raised my voice. None of that. So I'm like, I just need you to not speak for about 30 seconds so I can get out what I have to say. And then if you have something to say, you can say it respectfully. And then I said what I had to say. I got 2 sentences in. She tried to cut me off. I said, oh, can you not cut me off? Now understand, this is not how I always respond. I usually get it wrong, but see, I'm trying to move into a more evolved version of myself as a woman. I'm 43 years old. I'm not going back and forth with these kids. And I want to show them a better way. She's going to be a mom one day. I don't want her repeating these patterns. See, y'all ain't thinking this generational curses. Now, there are some legitimate generational curses. Some of y'all be messing around with magic. Okay, but I'm talking about unchecked behavior patterns that get repeated from generation to generation. You a junkie. So now your baby going to be a junkie. Now your baby grow up to have a baby with a junkie, to have a baby that's a junkie. Type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So then after I did that, now so that we don't repeat this pattern, because this is a repeated pattern, you say something smart, I go to respond, now we're arguing, it's an issue. Or I go to course correct, you don't like what I have to say, you cut me off, I check you about cutting me, now it's a screaming match. We're not doing that. So this time I said, okay, now that you've heard what I have to say, moving forward, we're not going to keep doing this back and forth. The next time that we have to have, not even an altercation, the next time we have a difference, what is it? The next time we have a difference of opinion, yes. The next time we have a difference of opinion, I'm going to say what I have to say, and I need you to listen. And then you're going to say what you have to say, and I'm going to listen, because it's a mutual respect. I expect the same respect from you that I'm giving to you. This is not a I say what I have to say and you just listen situation. This is a I'm going to say what I have to say and you're going to listen, and then you're going to say what you have to say and I'm going to listen. And that's going to be that. Took it a step further and said, if this happens again and I'm trying to tell you something and you cut me off or I don't like your tone, I'm going to take your phone for a week. Do we have an agreement? Do you understand? No, I didn't say we do have an agreement. I said, do we have an understanding? Now, that was important because I don't want a space for any type of not taking accountability for changing your behavior. There had to be a consequence. So I had to not be triggered in that moment, because I was. It's not a not be triggered. I was internally triggered by what she said, but in that moment, I'm looking at my child. I'm standing in the fact that I am a grown woman that gave birth to this child that I'm training to be a good person in this world. So in this moment, there's no space for me to get down to her level. We're not doing that. I'm the queen on the board. I'm not going to sit up here going back and forth for no child that I birthed, that I'm training. No. And I don't know when that became okay, but it's not. So I had to calm down my nervous system and use my higher mind to not knock her head off when she got smart with me. Because what does that solve and what does that teach? She's not going to be smacking my grandchildren around. And I'm not going to have a bunch of hooligans running around in the world smacking people because they didn't appreciate the way they were spoken to. And I'm also not going to have disrespectful children. So it all starts at home. Which means it all starts in our heads as moms, as parents, as women. Because everybody around me is going to move according to the mood that I am in. So regardless of the mood that I'm in, I'm always going to have to take the higher road. Because I'm training human beings. I'm not just feeding and clothing and sheltering people. You know, I am developing minds, constructing behavior patterns. That affects the world. That's a very big deal. The parenting is not a joke. It's very, very serious. It's a divine assignment. I'm not going to have the Lord down here kicking my behinds because I'm not doing right by my kids. So moving forward, that's how I'm going to deal with it. But the most important part of that was the beginning and the end. Because the beginning set the stage for me to even have the middle, and then you just got to seal the deal with the end. You got to start with the deep breath so that you think with your higher mind, and I need you to listen. But the physical, that has to be done. Because like we're dealing with things metaphysically, not just physically. I'm real alchemy, okay, in real life. Grab that bull crap that they spout and grab it and throw it to the floor. When somebody says something, I say, I rebuke that in the name of the Most High. And you got to get that out of here. Get it out of here. You know what I'm saying? I love you. Oh, and the close-up is if this happens again, this is the consequence. Because I was sitting there and I have ruminated over this for months, years even. What am I missing? The consequence. Your child needs to have a clear understanding that if they do this, that will happen. If you don't do this, that will happen. Because is that not life? You don't pay your bills, something getting cut off. You know what I'm saying? You don't show respect, you're not going to have opportunities. Right? So, it's just training. And I love them. And that's why they still love. Thank you so much for spending time with me here in Fury World. If you're interested in videos about mental health, spirituality, indoor gardening, even though I killed all of my plants except for my lemon trees and my tomatoes because I overwatered them, check out my playlist. If you'd like to check out my music, it's available on all music streaming platforms worldwide under my artist name, The Fury of Abyss. I love you. Parenting is not easy, but it is very fulfilling. And, you know, you got to do what you got to do to wrangle these kids, honey, because they will make you lose your mind if you let them. I love you. Hit me down in the comments if you need anything. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.